You suck at setting appointments. So here's how to set 5 to 10,000 appointments like clockwork. And I'm gonna give you 3 steps that have allowed us to go from 0 to over 8 figures in results in less than 7 years. Why should you trust me? My name is Dami Ukudara, 26-year-old entrepreneur in Australia, 40 staff, and 25% of the staff are professional appointment setters. Now, why is appointment setting even important when you can just hire a salesperson, you can just hire a closer? A lot of you CEOs don't even know what CEO stands for because you're too afraid to sell. The best generals lead the team by being in the battle, not just observing. Now, I can give you these 3 steps, but what I want you to first understand is that audacity is going to be the thing that sets you free in any sales venture. I define audacity as being willing to do something that can go in 2 ways, either very well or very ugly. You see, as humans, we run away from fear, or we run away towards reward. So the mistake that a lot of people make when they're setting appointments and they're calling people is they are running only towards fear, but they're not thinking of the reward, of the dopamine, of having someone be like, you know what, I believe in you, let's book that appointment. I believe in you, here's $10,000, here's $5,000, here's $1 million, here's $1,000. But in order to get to the reward, you have to be able to cop a lot of this, the fear. So audacity. And how do we define audacity? Reps. Now, a lot of people, when you work at a sales company, let's just say you're in tech sales, you work in a roofing company, or you work in some sort of door knocking environment, the usual benchmark will be usually anywhere between 50 to 100 dials or 50 to 100 doors a day. But if you calculate that over a week, let's just use 100 for the round number's sake, that's 700 per week. And per month, that's 2,800. Okay? So let's just say you're average, because I was extremely average when I started in sales. The first sales job I had, I was a clothing assistant at YD in 2018. And the second job I had after that was I was in a multi-level marketing scheme. I hated sales. I was nervous, I would sweat, I still get sweaty, and I would feel very uncomfortable. I felt like I had to convince people, like it was weird or it was like some sort of forced manipulation to get someone to say yes, until again, if I go back to step number 1, I had the audacity to understand that it's actually the reward of getting someone to make a decision that they were actually going to make anyway, through me. Again, it's not about you running towards fear, it's running towards reward. But back to the reps. So if you're doing 2,800 reps a month of something, and that's the average, a simple way to improve this is to just 2x. So again, if we look at the weekly input and you go to 1,400, and we do 1,400 times 4, you're now looking at 6,400 reps. I think I did the maths right. Your comments will let me know. Now, that mere action to you might be small. It might be like, well, I'll do an extra hour of calling or an extra 3 hours at the door. But what you're not thinking of is what's called compound effect. Compound effect. And people think growth is linear. They think it's 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4 or 3 or whatever that was. But how it actually works is it multiplies. So what most people do is they'll do 1 plus 1 equals 2. But if you do a ridiculous volume by doubling, what actually happens is 1 plus 1 equals 2, but then 2 squares itself. 2 becomes 4, 4 squares itself, it becomes 16. But that's only if you sustain it, which brings me to my third thing that's going to show you guys how to book a bunch of appointments. And this third thing, after you've mastered audacity and reps, is longevity. And this one's important, conscious competence. Now, for those of you that are in our Skool group, you will already be familiar with the flywheel of conscious competence. So what happens is you start off unconsciously incompetent. So it's like when you're riding a bike. You are trying to ride a bike. You fall off the bike, you scab yourself, you're bleeding. You don't necessarily understand how to sync your body in a movement to make the bike move forward. You're unconsciously incompetent, you don't know why things are going wrong. Then what happens is you go from unconscious incompetence to unconscious, let me rephrase that. Then you go from consciously incompetent. So you're aware that you're not good at the thing. So again, if we move this back to sales, let's just say by week 2, you've already known what it feels like to make an appointment before. So when you say the wrong thing or you use the wrong tonality, you're now consciously aware of your incompetence. That's level 2 of awareness, right? In terms of skill development. And then number 3 becomes conscious competence. This is where you know, okay, if I make 200 calls today, I know that my stats are I'm going to be able to book 10% of these. So that's 20 appointments out of 200. And then if I hit 18, then I know that there was something that I could have done to get to 20, so I'll fix it tomorrow, and then you hit 22 tomorrow. That's being consciously competent. But what you want to get to, and this is the benefit of reps and having the audacity to run towards reward, is you get to unconscious competence. Guys, I could be on the toilet and I will book an appointment. I can be crying and I will book an appointment. I can lose a deal and a client be like, I'm canceling and I want to end services with you, and I can still rebook them to talk to a staff member of mine, unconsciously. But it only happened because I was audacious, I ran towards reward, I did the reps, thousands of them, and I got frequent feedback loops at a square root speed. And the most important thing was longevity. And longevity is what creates unconscious competence. Now, if you like these kinds of videos and you want more of them, then please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm when you do that and you support this channel. If you want more sales help, then in the description, we literally have a free group called Mega Community Builders. You'll get access to live cold calls with me, interviews with me, Ty Lopez, Chen Thambia, and other 6, 7, multi-8 and multi-9-figure entrepreneurs around the world. The owner of TEDx Stocklands, all these guys in the free Skool group. It's free, it's easy. There's a couple hundred members in there. But if you want one-to-one sales training with myself or our sales team leaders that each have anywhere between 5 to 20 years of experience, much more than I, then click the link below for Mega Community Consulting. And if you're a good fit, then you might get to meet us and work with us as well. But again, we don't take on everyone. So if you're doing sub 20 to 30K a month, which is completely fine, I'd rather you watch all the free content. There's another 100 plus sales videos I've made in the last 2 to 3 years alone. Watch them. Once you're at 20K a month, inquire and we'll see if we're a fit. As always, think mega. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.